When it comes to things like making money, being good with women, and fighting, I think it's most pronounced with these three things. Men don't want to admit to themselves that they need help. They don't know how to perform at a high level. I think with things like soccer, it's okay to say, well, I'm not a good soccer player. These are things that are not integral to your core as a man. So, in this video, I want to talk about this idea that becoming successful in dating, achieving a certain level of romantic freedom and abundance, being good with women is something that should just come naturally to us, right? It should just come naturally to us. I don't know why we get this idea. I want to put some things into perspective because when you really think about it, it's silly. I think I know where we get this idea from, but yeah, this idea that, it should just come naturally to us. This is something I've heard from clients, I've heard from students. I think a lot of guys they don't even want to go down this path and even admit this to themselves. They think, yeah, this is just something that should just naturally happen. Let's put this into perspective. And also to address the question of, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Why is personal development so hard, right? Success with women is a big part, or is a part of personal development at large. If we want to perform at a higher level, let me rephrase it here. If we want to perform at a higher level in anything, this is not something that comes to us naturally, necessarily. Yes, some of us are more predisposed and naturally more gifted in certain respects than others. But generally, if we want to perform at a higher level in any capacity, whether it's soccer, whether it's chess, whether it's building a business, achieving financial freedom, whether it's having more romantic freedom and abundance, we're essentially saying we want to compete at a higher level. To perform at a higher level, you need to compete at a higher level, and vice versa. To compete at a higher level, you need to perform at a higher level. And to do that, you need to learn how to perform at a higher level. Okay, so yes, naturally, to perform at a lower level in chess, anyone can just learn how to play chess, more or less. Anyone can just learn how to dribble a basketball or a soccer ball. Anyone can get some form of a basic job. But to compete at a higher level in soccer or basketball or chess, or to learn how to make a lot of money, those are skills you need to develop. Same thing with trying to achieve romantic success and abundance. What are you essentially saying? You're essentially saying that you want access to more women, right? You want to have the skills and the capacity and the behavioral qualities and the emotional intelligence and the confidence and all these characteristics in order to you want to have access to more women. You want to have access to more women. In order to have access to more women, you need to be competing at a certain level where you can attract more women. This isn't something that just naturally is going to happen. Some guys are better at it than others because they're, maybe better looking or inherently more charismatic, better communicators. Maybe they're more confident as a result of, both nature and nurture. Separate topic, right? Some people are naturally better at entrepreneurship. Some people have to learn how to get better at entrepreneurship, but it's still a skill that you need to hone. So sure, most people on average are going to succeed here and there with the opposite sex. The average guy might get lucky here and there if he has some aspects of his life together. But if you're talking about going out on an average night and just lining and attracting several women and getting several numbers and lining up several dates with attractive quality women that other men are competing for, that have their pick of the litter, that requires a certain level of skill and know-how. It's important to understand this. It's important to come to terms with this. Now, I think a lot of guys struggle with this because well, part of it is, they're lacking perspective. It's like, well, everyone's like having sex, and like I've seen people like do that, and like in high school it's easier, if you're at a frat it's easier, and in our culture it's just naturally happening. So they're assuming that this should naturally happen to everyone. They're not necessarily understanding that what is being shown or what is being witnessed are anomalies, okay, not the norm. Even somebody in high school, if they're, I don't know, predisposed, naturally more charismatic, maybe they fall into the right environment, the right group, they might have more success there. Right, but that's very circumstantial, that context. I've had clients like this who have done well in high school or university. Maybe they're more attractive, maybe they're even like cool social guys, and they have certain things down. But then you take them out of like that environment where there's just like an environment or a context that sets them up for success, if you will. You take them out of that, and they don't really know how to succeed at the same level. So that's not the norm. So a lot of people don't really understand that, it's like, let's say maybe making money. Maybe you have certain skills and you do certain things well, and maybe somebody puts you to work in a certain environment, in a certain job, in a certain position where you're set up to do relatively well, but maybe you take you out of that and you don't know how to build that same situation. You don't know how to achieve that same level of, in a different environment, maybe in a different space, different field, and you don't know how to achieve that same level of financial abundance. Maybe you play soccer really well in your local league, or with the guys in the neighborhood, and maybe you're pretty good, and it looks like, wow, you're good at soccer and you're winning. But then you take you out of that and put you in a more competitive space, and you're not going to be doing well. Then you realize, well, you got to train and you got to, climb the ladder. So I think part of it is the perspective, and I think another part of it is a lot of guys don't want to admit to themselves, when it comes to things like making money, being good with women, and fighting. I think it's most pronounced with these three things. Men don't want to admit to themselves that they need help. They don't know how to perform at a high level. I think with things like soccer, it's okay to say, well, I'm not a good soccer player. These are things that are not integral to your core as a man. Well, I don't know how to play soccer. I don't know how to play chess at a high level. It's like, it's okay. It is what it is. But when it comes to being good with women, making money, fighting, we somehow think we got it. It's like, we don't got it. Some of us might be better than others for various reasons, innate and circumstantial or experiential, nature versus nurture. But generally, we don't got it. Hey, what up? It's me again. Just having a cocktail here. But I wanted to quickly interrupt to, one, make sure you're paying attention, and two, to let you know that everything you're learning here is directly and indirectly related to building your dream dating life. And just overall, a life that is healthy, win-win, and on your terms. Now, when you're done the video, I recommend you take a few minutes to go to the link below where you can watch a very entertaining and informative video on what steps you need to take to begin your very own transformation. If you're up for it, that is. I guess you first need to ask yourself, and pardon my French here, but do you want to fuck lots of hot cookies, or do you want to fuck lots of hot? As well as find love, discover the meaning of life, and become a self-developed, self-respecting man. Okay, end of pep talk. Back to the video. Go check out the link below when you're done, or I will personally call your mother and have her force you. But generally, we don't got it. Understanding this and coming to terms with this I think is very important. Even guys sometimes take my bootcamp programs, and even though I've told them before the programs, I've said this several times, you're gonna have to put in the work afterwards. This is a journey. This is a process. The bootcamp is just there to lay the foundations, to open your eyes, to teach you what works, to expose you to all the different things, right? But then afterwards, you have to put in the work. And sure, there's also, we also mentor clients along the way, right? And that achieves its own thing. Helps with accountability, helps you solidify a lot of these mindsets, skills, and habits, and build consistency and over time. But work needs to be put in. And so you tell them, but then afterwards they think, oh, I should just be killing it afterwards. And the tough part is that this area is so nuanced and so multifaceted, and there's just so much going on. You could be doing well in some kind of respects, but then still not seeing certain results. Okay? Not even, let's say, getting a date a month with a quality girl, or a date every couple of weeks with a quality girl, simply because certain things are out of tune, and they can be quickly tweaked if you have the right guidance. They're out of tune, or you're just not building enough momentum, you're not putting yourself out there. What I'm trying to say here is it's also sometimes hard to gauge what performing at a high level is. Some guys think that, well, getting a date with a high quality girl here and there shouldn't be a big deal. Let's say maybe they'll take the boot camp, or maybe somebody who's never taken the boot camp. It's like, I don't need to be swimming in pussy. They think that getting a date here and there a week does not equate to competing at a high level. Getting a quality date here and there, that is competing at a high level. Most guys will never learn how to do that. They don't know how to do that. Most guys go years without being able to meet a high quality woman on their terms that they want, let alone every month and every week. Not every girl is obviously going to be relationship material, but I'm talking about like cool, attractive, a girl you're willing to go out a few dates with, invest a few dates with in order to sleep with. That's performing at a very high fucking level. Okay? Even at one date a month, okay? That's already performing at a high level for most guys. Like, let's say one successful date a month, let alone every fucking week, or having like rotations and all that stuff. So let's get humble. Let's take some perspective. Let's realize we need help with this. Let's realize what it means to compete at a high level, what it means to have a quality date, a month, or just to have the choice to do it on our terms, to just go anywhere, go in any city, especially any Western city where it's difficult. I'm not talking about Colombia or Thailand or whatever. Any city where it is difficult, where you have a lot of men competing for some of these women. They have their pick of the litter, okay? In order to just roll in during the day or at night or at some event, build attraction and comfort, make an impression, to know how to follow up properly, to send all the right signals, to know how to do that, to know how to, get her out on the date. A random stranger. That's difficult. That's fucking difficult. It is not something that should just naturally come to us. Not at that level, okay? And yes, it's hard. And personal development is hard, okay? It's hard. It's hard, and for some people it's harder than for others. All our journeys are unique, okay? So that's okay. Everyone is different. And also just an important reminder that you don't, I'll talk about this more in other videos, you don't need to get all the girls, okay? While this is hard, and you do want to compete at a certain level, but at a certain level that is sufficient for you, sufficient for your needs, your quality of life, to have just enough choice and freedom to be happy, right? Sometimes it takes some checking in and being aware of various other things to get into alignment with what is enough, right? And then also determining to what degree you care, okay? To what degree you care to compete at this level versus this level versus this level, right? We don't all want to compete at the highest level in professional basketball. We don't all want to build $1 billion business, okay? We don't all want to become wine sommeliers. Maybe we just want enough wine knowledge. Maybe we just want, to play basketball at this level, okay? Maybe we just want to know how to build a lifestyle business on our terms, to make $500,000, $1 million, let's say. So similarly with women, we need to determine, what is enough. Maybe learning how to get one quality date a month is enough, or one every couple of weeks, have a relationship here and there, or some guys might want more. They might want constant threesomes, juggling several girls. For some guys enough might be getting the odd date here and there with a girl of their liking. For some guys, they want to be throwing parties, constantly have like a funnel, really attractive girls. They want to be having threesomes. There's some kind of an epic fucking Dan Bilzerian lifestyle and just like being the shit. Okay, so there could be different levels of competitiveness, if you will. But even, you know, at the more the tame level, this is hard. It's competitive. It's like playing at, yeah, maybe you're not playing at FIFA level in one of the European leagues, but maybe you're playing for some of the big local leagues. You have to be pretty fucking decent, right? And any kind of level in between. Understanding that, one, just having that freedom and choice to have quality women fall into your life, to be able to meet and attract them and keep them, that's already hard. On your own terms, whenever you want, generally speaking, that's already hard. And then it goes up from there. But recognizing you can decide what level you ultimately need. And that requires a certain process of being in alignment and being true to yourself and all that stuff, which we'll talk about in the next videos. And then lastly, you don't have to get them all, okay? You just need to learn how to get enough women, how to attract enough women on average, on your own terms, to be able to lead a free and fulfilling life that's true to you. All right, man, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this content and that it really helps you make some moves in the right direction. Sincerely, because everything I teach, I have lived and breathed and contemplated ad nauseum. Unlike a bunch of these cookie cutter life coach clowns out there that regurgitate some shit they read in a book and call themselves experts. With that in mind, if you want to go deeper, if you want to really know what it takes to become the kind of guy that can confidently attract and manage relationships with quality women on your terms and in a way that is healthy and honest, no scummy or gimmicky shit here. And if you generally want to live a life of truth, freedom, love, courage, and adventure, then as Tom Cruise famously said in Jerry Maguire, help me help you, and go click the link below. There's a very entertaining and informative video that will shed some light on how you can get started. Do it, or you will forever perish into the dark abyss. But seriously, go check it out. Let's kickstart this journey of personal development together and help you reinvent yourself into a sex god.